truly touched when I see so many people gathering, so many wanting to respond to a love that burst into the world quietly. A babe born in a manger, as Deacon Larry just told us. The story we're familiar with from, I'm sure, from our childhood. And singing hymns, carols that evoke days when we look back on and think, The hymns we sing, the message we receive is always a message of God's love. God didn't wait till we were well behaved or suited and booted. He didn't wait till we were being the best of ourselves. He came when we were most in need of a Savior. And where your presence here is testament to that you wish to acknowledge and receive the love that God has for all people. And the church, if it isn't a messenger of that love and that mercy, it isn't the good news. The good news is God so loved the world. But he didn't announce them to people dressed quite as nicely as you. They were rather shabby and smelly. And so the good news was announced to outcasts. Pope Francis is trying very hard. People are upset with him. Yes, they got upset with Jesus as well. Deacon Larry reminded me before Mass that every Sunday, every Mass, week in, week out, year in, year out, people come down the aisle and for whatever reason, they either bow their head or cross their arms. We don't ask them for a reference, speaking about their ability to receive. But we do give that blessing. And how wonderful that blessing is given. And the Pope's encouraging us, and some bishops in some parts of the world are fighting it. But remember, we're talking about the pontiff. We're talking about the bridge builder. That's what it means. And he wants the bridge to link those who feel estranged. And there's probably no more estranged in the church than members of the LGBT community. And so, yes, blessings can be given. The Pope has said so. His message is accompanying those in need, walking alongside. And how wonderful when we do that, when we dare to listen to another person's story, when we allow ourselves to be touched by their situation. Because each and every one of us is in need. And there isn't any one of us that is worthy. That's why when we come forward, after the priests and deacons and ministers leave the altar, before that we say, Lord, I am not worthy. Only say the word, and the word is love. I found a lovely story about Nelson Mandela. He was certainly an outsider. So outside for decades. And this is from his book, A Long Walk to Freedom. He describes most movingly how his second youngest daughter, Zenny, and her husband came to visit him in prison on Robben Island and brought with them their newborn child. Having been in prison for so many years, Mandela hadn't in fact seen his now grown-up daughter since she was about her own baby daughter's age. Mandela's son-in-law hands him in prison his tiny granddaughter, whom Mandela says he did not let go of for the entire visit. And he writes, to hold a newborn baby, so vulnerable and soft, in my rough hands, hands that for too long held only picks and shovels. It was a profound joy. I don't think a man was ever happier to hold a baby than I was on that day. And on that day, Mandela was Joseph, who held the baby, who took Mary to himself. And God wishes to take and retake each and every one of us to his heart. He wants us to know that the gospel proclaimed day in, day out, year in, year out, is a gospel for all people. And that's what makes it good. That God so loved the world, and it means he loves you and me. And so I hope and pray that we can not only share that joy, but we can dare to express it. We can dare to tell people that we love them. We can dare to tell people that we need to be loved as well. Please like, subscribe, or comment below.